Hello there, and welcome to the podcast. My name is GODFREY CHIKUMBI. Today, we are joined by a true legend of the Zambian game, Coach Patrick Phiri. Now, from scoring big goals at Rokana, present-day Nkana, to managing more than 15 clubs within and outside Zambia, Coach Patrick Phiri's journey has been remarkable. He became the first Zambian coach to ever qualify a junior team to the FIFA World Cup in 1999. But one big moment that is still etched and will forever be etched in the football history is how he plotted the downfall of South Africa in Cape Town, when they had even hired a Brazilian and World Cup winning coach, Carlos Alberto Pereira. And his record is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome to the podcast Coach Patrick Phiri, the legend himself, the mentor of football himself. Coach, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. It's a pleasure being here.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Maybe I should begin by saying you turned 69 last month in May. And I would like to say happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
I usually do that.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
What have you been up to?
Thank you very much for the introduction and for your kindness. Of late, I've been confined more to office work.
You're not coaching?
I haven't been coaching, I think, the last 2-3 years. As you know, we were not spared by COVID. I had an attack of COVID.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, when it was at the highest level. And then I was hospitalized for 3 months on oxygen.
Very sad. Shame.
So when I was lucky, when I pulled through, I developed some paralysis on my right leg.
Really sorry.
I've been battling to reignite it. Thank God. At least now I'm able to walk, because I was working on crutches. But now at least I've recovered. I can walk properly, and hopefully I'll start jogging.
Indeed. Again. We are grateful to God.
Thank God, I used to help the association in technical work.
And you've been retained.
Yes, thank God.
Congratulations.
I must thank you, current association, for inviting me again back to the technical committee. It's a very big privilege. I'm very grateful to be invited.
Wonderful. This time around, you're going to be sharing or sitting on that committee with Kalusha Wali as vice chairperson, of course, chaired by President Keith Mwemba. How does that make you feel?
Oh, like I say, it's a privilege. These are high-profile sports people, and obviously in football, every day you are learning. So it gives us an opportunity to learn a lot and to share. Working in the midst of very privileged people and very knowledgeable people. So it's a great honor to me personally.
Great, Coach. We are grateful to God that He has permitted us to be with you. Healing you. We are so thankful to God. But straight to football, Coach. Let's start from where it all began. One interesting thing is you started with Buseko in Mpatamato.
Yes.
And later went to Nkana or Rokana. Kindly tell me how Mpatamato and Buseko shaped your football journey.
Godfrey, I think during our youth days, we easily fell in love with the beautiful game, football, because in our communities, that is the only game that was very popular. Popular on the street, we used to kick about on the street as youngsters. And then over the weekend, would go and watch teams from the community playing. And Buseko in Luansha was one of the biggest teams because it was in the mine area. So would play against, there were quite many, a number of other teams in the mine area, but then we would also host teams from the other townships, like Ron Township, and of course what we call the town center. But apart from that, what shaped our love for football mostly was watching football on TV. At that particular moment in time, we were privileged to be watching the British League. Wow. We used to watch the league EPL
on
TV. So we started knowing these big players, British players, when we were youngsters. So we could compare the way they were playing on TV, and then we could compare with our local stars. So this is how we fell in. This is why we fell in love with football.
Great. Straight from Buseko, you were now signed on by Rokana, then playing alongside big names like Bernard Bomba Chanda and Moses Simwala. How was it like playing as a young striker, rubbing shoulders with those big guys that we've heard about?
Yeah, it was a big move because when I was at Buseko, Buseko was an amateur team.
Yes.
The amateur ranks. So it so happened that after school, I went to Kitwe to stay with my brother-in-law, who was a football icon already, Bernard Chanda. So when I landed in Kitwe and we went to this stadium called the Scrivener Stadium that time, I found the robust supporters rallying behind it. It was shocking to see the passion that the fans had.
Some kind of fans have always been passionate.
That's their tradition. They've been passionate like that. Even that time I was young, they had that passion and they wanted to win from the word go.
And we're talking about 1973?
Yes, 1974, 95. They had that passion and the zeal to get the champion. They never accepted a draw. They never accepted a loss at home. If the team loses at home, we knew that the police would be working over time.
It's been like that.
It's been like that. And you are losing, you're playing. And I started playing. Of course, I was playing in the youth team and I graduated to the senior team. And even when you are playing, you find that if you're not scoring, you'll see fans jumping the fence to come and try to stop the match because they could not accept losing at home. So each and every game we were playing at home, we knew that we had to win. Otherwise, if we knew that each time we lose, we'll go home with a police escort. So that's a kind of culture which was at Nkana. And up to now, I believe it is the same.
So are you going to say Nkana fans are the best?
Well, on a Saturday, of course, you say, on a Saturday, you see them, they cannot be the best. But I must tell you that this is a family team. On a Saturday, they look different. But from Monday to Friday, it's a family team. You are knowing each other. The entire fraternity, fan fraternity, officials, employer, it's a family team. And they are so helpful to the players. And
really?
they interrelate some. Yes. Yeah, even the town center, it's a big team. Town center, go there, fantastic friends. They're only hard on a day you are playing the match. The friendship is finished. On the day of the match, there's no friendship. So, but during the week, they are ever at the ground. When you are training,
they are watching.
The ground is full. They have that passion. They love the team so much. They want to be with the team every day.
Wow. Now, Coach, what are some of your biggest and memorable moments at Nkana? I know that in one season you scored a record 21 goals.
Yeah. I must say that when I moved from the youth team to the reserve, from the reserve team to the main team, I went there with a very big impact.
Wow.
Yeah, because I think the first match, I scored the hat-trick.
Wow.
Yeah, then...
And it was against, do you remember?
Yes, Wanderers.
Maite, Mfulira.
Then performances of this were coming every week. The reason was I was playing with big stars, good players. Moses Simwala, Brighton Sinyangwe, Bernard Chanda, Nelson Sapi. These were phenomenal national team players, big stars even in the national team. So you found that each team that we played against, we used to outplay them, overwhelm them, because we had very good. These were big players, very extremely gifted players. So when I went in with very raw, young, I found it easy. They used to do the donkey stuff for me. I was a striker, top man.
Exactly.
So I used to have very easy chances. Just say 1-against-1 with the goalkeeper. And I was very good 1-against-1. I never used to miss. And then crosses, I was very courageous.
What kind of magic were you playing? Because most of the times we see when a striker is facing, the goalkeeper, they always find it difficult.
Yes, but like I told you, when I was young, I used to follow football. So I started to learn this art of scoring when I was very young. I could watch closely the top men, how they were playing. Also, I could watch on TV how the big stars, the big players in England used to perform in the box.
I'm tempted to ask you one question. Who amongst those big guys in England, inspired you, especially in terms of scoring?
Players like John Barnes and top man for Liverpool, this tall guy, he's been years now. This he was playing with John Barnes. The players like John Barnes. Yes, these are the kind of players that we used to emulate because they were deadly, very good in the box and in the finishing. And of course, we used to follow the World Cup closely. So a team like Brazil, like Fluminense, which is playing here. That time I was there. They came to Zambia and played on our national team.
I think I remember having watched one of the videos.
Yeah, they played at Scrivener Stadium. Fluminense now. They beat a team yesterday. Yeah, they beat Ali from...
They are Ali,
they beat...
They will now be meeting Chelsea.
Yeah. So we used to follow these teams closely when we were young. We could watch and learn from them. So by the time I started playing, what I needed to do in the box was already implanted in my head. So that I was just going through them, and I don't remember if I missed even in my whole career. I never missed a 1-versus-1.
Wow.
No, 1-against-1, it was automatic. I was scoring.
That was magical. Yeah, you mentioned the big names that you played against, and you were talking about your 21 goals in a season. How did you manage to achieve that?
Like I told you, I was playing with great players. On the wing, on the left, I had Moses Mwala on the right, and Brighton Snyang on the left, and Nelson Sapi. These were technicians. If you give them the ball, 8 out of 10, they're going to beat their defender and they'll put the cross. And their crosses, it's not this kind of crosses I see my players crossing. No, their crosses were pinpointed right at my head. So they could, when they're running with the ball, they were not looking at the ball.
Pinpoint.
They'll be looking at the way you are running in the box.
Wow.
So that when they cross the ball, it will come right straight at your head. All I used to do is just put my head there and the ball go into the goal.
That was amazing.
So this is why people used to think that I was a great player. No, it's the kind of service that I was getting from my midfielders, Stone Chibwe, Nelson Sapi, Brighton Snyangwe, Bernard Chan. Fantastic class of players.
So if a striker has very good supply chains, they succeed.
Yes, of course. I remember almost same period, Philip Tembo, a player from Ron United, who was top scorer, I think, at Ron United. He had very good service suppliers. And then he shifted. He went to Cabo Warriors the following year.
Okay.
Where the service was different.
It was
He couldn't score even 2 goals. Yeah, Philip Tembo, I remember, because you asked it. And it was a very big discussion in the football circles about this. That's when he came to realize that you must appreciate the people who are able to give you service.
Exactly. Enough of Nkana. You now left Nkana to go to Red Arrows. And that was one controversial move. Tell us about
green pastures, you may say.
Did they offer more?
Yeah, green pastures always, when in life, always you're looking for green pastures. So, not really offer more. It's a kind of lifestyle that we, as youngsters, we're looking forward to. Nkana was fantastic. Good sponsorship. from the mines, good ambience from the fans and family atmosphere there. But, when you're young, you're always ambitious and not something new. And the Air Force offered something outside.
And what was it called then, Red Arrows?
It was called ZAF, actually.
ZAF.
Yeah, it was sponsored by the military.
Yeah, it still is.
And when you're young, at military adventure,
you feel nice.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you see those days, we used to buy those comics, war comics. They were so much common in, I remember in Luansha, in Blue Month. So, and of course, but again, they offered it was a government institution.
Yeah,
and that time government was giving so much free education and sponsorship for courses, especially ZAF. They used to train their personnel abroad. Yugoslavia. And anywhere in the world where you wanted.
So it was irresistible.
Yeah, it was totally irresistible.
Totally at that point when you arrived at Arrows, your impact was massive. That earned you, I don't know where this moniker or nickname of the mathematician came from.
Thank you for...
How did that come about?
Okay, it was the way I used to play, I was very good with footwork. I used to train a lot with footwork even when I was at Tinkana. So when I go on the pitch, I used to do a lot of footwork.
Alone.
Yeah, so it's now the fans were saying like I was calculating all the time.
and they told your passes were precise.
Yeah, I think that he attributed to also... I went to the national team early. We had a coach who was emphatic in teaching technique, Ante Buselic. Yeah, he was very emphatic on teaching technique. So I think the crop of players that I've mentioned, they were all very good at passing. This is why Zambia even rose so much on the rankings.
Now that you've mentioned Ante Buselic, you went to the national team in 1976.
Yes.
And I when I was doing my little research, I saw that you scored on your debut away.
Yes.
In Gaborone.
Gaborone, yes.
That was the time that country got independence and they were celebrating.
Yes.
So tell us about that. How did it feel?
Yeah, to me, actually, I was shocked that I was taken into the national team. Because the national team that time, they were big stars. These stars I was talking about.
Yes.
They were national, in fact, continental stars. They were good. And everyone would attest to that. So when I was called to go there for trials, I thought that I was just going there for numbers. So I was there training, and then we were about 40 players out there. And then Ante came
for trials.
Yes, and obviously most of the time was just a ball boy even at the national team. We are doing the shooting exercise, and maybe they are shooting over the bar. I would just used to volunteer to these big stars. No, you remain shooting. I'll be picking the ball because I was one of the youngest players. And sometimes they just say, you stay there. So when they were announcing the lineup traveling to Botswana, I'd even was ready. I'd packed and say I'll go back to Cape. I was just shocked to hear that I'm on the list traveling. I went back to the coach to reconfirm. Did you call my name?
You went to Ante Buselic to ask him.
Is it true? Is it true to come? Then the coach said, are there two Patrick Phiri here? You are the one. So that is what transpired. Yeah, of course, we went there. We that time we fantastic team. I think we beat them 9-0.
9-0.
Yeah,
one of your biggest wins.
Yeah, because that time, of course, that's when they were also now starting to come up with their game.
Okay. Now, still in the national team, you now qualified to the AFCON, and you played that 2 AFCONs.
Yes.
Is it 1978?
Yes.
And 1982?
In Ghana.
Yes. And Libya.
Yes.
And the 1982 one was even your last game for Zambia, right?
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, which of these 2 AFCONs gives you the best memories?
Yeah, of course, the one in Libya, because we I think we are more organized than the one we played in Ghana. I think Ghana, I think that's the time now the coach was getting the youngsters, and by the time the one in Libya, most of them had matured, and were good balance, youngsters and senior players. And I remember us playing in the semi-final, quarterfinal against Nigeria, when Nigeria were a powerhouse in the continent.
You actually lost to them?
We beat them.
You beat them?
We beat them.
Then you lost 4-3 to, is it Ivory Coast?
I think it was.
Because
I think Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast? I don't know.
But I think the outing in Libya was better. Because it was a very good team. Yes.
So personally.
And we came out with very good results, and we only lost because in a game sometimes, even if you are good, you can lose. Exactly. But we had a better performance in Libya.
So now, enough of your playing days. Let's talk about you now transitioning into coaching. And I know that Coach Patrick Phiri is one of the most successful Zambian gaffers, especially that we have a moment in history, 1999. Our Zambia national team, under 20, went to the first World Cup. We actually beat Honduras 4-3, then drew against Spain 1-1, then lost to Brazil 5-1 after leading in Nigeria.
Yeah, in Nigeria, yes.
I think the fans, especially the Gen Zs, would like to hear more. How were the preparations? What happened? How did you lose to Brazil by that much? I know Ronaldinho was there.
Yeah, yes, he was there.
Why did you fail to beat Ronaldinho?
Firstly, I think, thank you so much, Godfrey. I think first in coaching, I must say that it was very different from playing. Playing, we're going there with passion, and but in coaching, it's not that it was my wish to be a coach. I wanted to play, but it so happened that in the pitch, we're playing against one team, I think, from Ndola.
Okay.
Yeah, then I had an accident.
Oh, sorry about that.
I had a knock on my head and lost consciousness walking up in the hospital. And then I came to discover I'd also lost some teeth. And when I tried to recover, it was difficult. Yeah, I developed a phobia. Each time I'm jumping, the picture is coming like again they're going to knock off the teeth. So they aligned me, right? They sent me into coaching. I was very privileged, like I told you, the Air Force. They prepared me because we had Coach Simto as
you were
head
now
coach.
coach.
So I started, player
After
coach.
Coach Simto was fired, right?
They groomed me as a coach. And you see, being a government institution, when they put up a plan like that, something that they were able to implement. They sent me to various courses. And I was lucky. I went to one of the best schools in Europe.
German?
In Germany, yes, at INSA. Yeah, and so eventually, of course, I developed into a coach. And eventually, I rose to be a coach. So, and when I became a coach, I was assigned to the national team. I worked with many expatriate coaches. Oh. So again, it was a very big privilege for me to mingle with these big coaches. Or almost all these expatriate coaches during my era, I worked with them.
Kindly mention some of them.
This Germany, Bukart, I worked with Jan Brewer for the entire period of his career. So for me, this was like a university. This is why I got my knowledge of coaching. Because I could learn their philosophies and compare to the theoretical philosophies which I had got from the school. So much so that I think I was greatly empowered and very, very privileged to be in that position. So I was appointed under 20 coach for the national team. And of course, I used to be assisted by Rod Posen. He's the one who he worked with me for a longer period of time.
At under 20 level?
At under 20 level.
Okay.
In fact, he's the one who put me through the paces. So that time, I remember when I was given responsibility to coach the national team under 20. here in this country, the people didn't even know that graduation went up to World Cup. So when we went into the camp and told the players when they were playing, I think COSAF, and they say, Coach, when I was giving them a briefing, telling the players, gentlemen, I was telling the players, we meet today, we're going to the World Cup. I saw them open up their ways. Coach, what do you mean? You make a mistake. We're going for COSAFA. Yes. We're going to COSAFA, but the ultimate is to go to the World Cup. Which World Cup? So we had to maintain and tell them about their assignment. And most of them never used to believe me until maybe I go to the association headquarters, get the brochures, which were coming from FIFA Under 20, and I show them. Then they say, oh, so it's true, Coach, what you are saying, there's a World Cup. This is Under 20, because they were never been there.
Oh, yeah.
So thank God they came to realize that I think for them, if they had to make their careers better, they had to get to this World Cup. So I could see this helped them a lot.
So, Coach, tell me something. So how was the qualification process like, since you are saying your lads were surprised that they qualified for the World Cup? How did that happen? Was it after playing at COSAFA and winning games or winning the COSAFA, or you had to engage in some qualifying series?
Yeah, they were qualifying series. But you see, when you are playing the COSAFA for this region, this was introduced to help the teams in this region to prepare for major tournaments, like the World Cup. You see, the COSAFA is only a stepping stone to help you make a team that can compete in the AFCON. So the concentration when you're picking your team, even you as a coach or technical staff, you should not be looking at players that will only play for you for the COSAFA. You must get the age group that can play in the AFCON as well as up to the World Cup. But mostly you find in the past, we would only get players to play for the COSAFA. And after the COSAFA, maybe they cannot qualify to play for the AFCON. And instead making a new team, it's very difficult and almost impossible to qualify for AFCON and the big tournament, the World Cup. So when we made this plan, of course, with the assistant of the experienced coach, Coach Paulsen, and also his format of selecting the team was very professional. Previously, we only used to select players from the urban areas. He told us, you cannot
You went to the hinterlands.
You need to go to all the corners of the country. That's where you can find the best talent. So we went almost throughout the entire country and exposed all the players. And we even had a database for all the good under 20 players nationwide. So that even if you are maybe having a problem, it's easy to call a player from Livingstone, Mans. And so this team we made, I think we looked at many talented youngsters. And we managed to pick the really best in the country. So it was very easy when we started to compete. We found that we had fantastic talent. When we went to play out there, we played Spain, for example, in the World Cup. And that you say Honduras.
Honduras. Beating them, it was a very good team.
Yes, it was a very good team. Before this tournament, Honduras had beaten Brazil. Now, when we were going there and the youngsters saw them training, because we went to watch them train, then they told me, the youngsters told me, Coach, this team were going to beat them.
Where did they draw the confidence from?
Yeah, they drew no, because of the many tournaments that they played.
Prior to the
So we went there, and
tournament.
true enough, we beat Honduras 4 goals. They couldn't believe.
Team
coming from Africa. So this kind of talent that we managed to get in the country.
Coach, I know that the likes of Andrew Sinkala was at that tournament.
He was a captain.
Kambamba.
Yes,
Some other players that you can just mention for the sake of
Emmanuel Zulu.
Emmanuel Zulu.
Yeah, he was
the talented
young,
Emmanuel.
Short, but he was extremely gifted. We took him to the AFCON with us, went to the AFCON. He won man of the match 3 times. He could come in as substitute, only play 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
But with
But
serious
just
impact.
the magic, the way he used to tap the ball and pass the ball, the whole crowd would stand up and start cheering. Because he used to be small. In 20 minutes, he would win the crowd and the selectors. They choose him as man of the 20 minutes.
What could have happened to Emmanuel?
Of course, he became big. When we finished the tournament in Nigeria, when we went for the World Cup, clubs from Europe flocked to come and pick him up.
Wow.
But unfortunately, I don't know, he had only a love for big teams. I remember teams from Germany, as agents came and wanted to pick him, he refused. No, I want to go, wait for my turn to go and play in EPL.
He really wanted
but
the EPL.
He was extremely talented. But not only him, we had the late Charles Wensofa. Fantastic striker. We had Bernard Makofi from
Makofi.
Oh, we had the speed, this boy. The way he was running, he was gifted.
Amazing.
Bernard Makofi.
And who was your goalkeeper?
They only saw him once and he went to... My goalkeeper was this one with Zesco.
Muschili?
Yeah, Emmanuel Muschili also. Yeah, one
was
of
there?
them. Yeah,
okay.
Muschili Emmanuel, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the coach at junior level, you've shared enough. Let's get to the national team. You were appointed with a task to take Zambia to the 2004 AFCON.
Yes.
That never happened. You were in the same group with Sudan?
Yeah, Sudan
Benin,
and
of course,
Congo.
Let's talk about, because you beat Sudan away 2-1.
Yes.
And then you drew against both Benin and Benin and Sudan. Yes, at home.
Yes.
Now, when you went to Benin,
we needed a win.
You needed a win to progress to the Tunisia AFCON.
AFCON, yes.
You know?
Yes.
2004.
Yes, 2004.
Now, because I watched that tournament, Zambia, we were not there at that tournament.
Yes.
And I want you to explain this. What really happened in Benin? In Benin.
Benin, yes.
Because there is a lot that we've been told that our players were urinated on, you lost the boots. The late administrative team manager, Solipando, was, abducted.
Yes.
Was abducted by the fans.
Yes.
Tell us what happened. That is so... It's for me, I really was scared for the lives of the players when we heard reports. But there are some that accused you of just trying to, maybe you didn't have an excuse.
No. Yeah, that's what people think, Godfrey. But to tell you the truth, like we were saying, in football, even here in Zambia, there's some kind of intimidation. You need to have courage when you go and play away from home. I remember even me as a player when I used to play, especially when I was playing for Red Arrows, because I became one of the best players.
Big guys.
Yeah. You'd go to away to another field, and people would be there shouting from the stands, trying to scare you, so that you lose concentration. But when you become seasoned, it doesn't affect you. It's like they're giving you oil, no need to rub, and be ready. Can't be scared.
But the Benin one.
But in Benin, it was far beyond that. It reached a stage where, because I was the team leader that time, where I came to realize that the lives of the players now were in danger. And I was not sure whether we'll come back at a given point. I found now the animosity was too much. It was beyond football. I am a very courageous person. Of course, having passed through a lot of training for the country in other fields. But
Zambia National Service.
Yeah. In there, even me, I was scared. Because when we were trying to get onto the pitch to start playing, a mob of fans came and blocked us. Started beating up the players. So I tried as much as I could to protect them, but it was impossible for me to do it.
They were injured.
And the crowd, the ground was full to capacity. All the seating were taken. All the seats were taken somewhere, even almost in the runway, in the pitch. When you're walking to the pitch, most of the time I used to work with my manager, Soli Pando. I was with Pando, and we were trying to separate now the thugs from the players. Pando was beaten, he fell down. I ran trying to protect him. He was picked by the thugs. I tried to follow them, then they stopped me and started punching me, and they just saw Pando taken outside the ground. Taken outside the perimeters of the ground. By the thugs. And he was gone. And somehow, because we have players also are physical, the players managed to squeeze into the pitch.
And I'm told by that time the national anthems had even started.
The referees were there on the pitch. So I also managed to squeeze myself onto the pitch with a lot of beating. So I started counting the players. Because now there was total confusion. I knew in my head maybe some other players also have been hijacked. So I went on the pitch and counted my players. They were like, thank God, all of them were there.
Nursing.
Yeah, but they've been rubbed the powder, which was itching. They're taken off the jerseys. Yeah, sepe, this sepe, this sepe. They rubbed this sepe on them. They couldn't put on it. It was itching all over. So now they all were just crying, and they were also shocked. Because you see, most of these players are players that had started from under 20. They were just like my children. They all came to me screaming, "Coach, we're going to die." And I could believe them. So I started thinking fast now. No, Coach, let's go. Let's go, Coach. We'll die.
They never wanted to play now.
No. They were we never had experience like this. They couldn't. They were totally intimidated. No, Coach, let's go back. Let's go back. So I stood there. And I was alone. Now I didn't have my manager to help me make the decisions. Even the doctors, I didn't see them at that particular moment in time. So I started thinking, I looked at the crowd. They were yelling at us. They really wanted to qualify. So I just told the players, I said, you see, from time immemorial, regardless of whatever problem we have, I've told you we have to go there, fight and win. But today I'm telling you different. They calmed it down. Told them, today I'll tell you only to play. If we lose 10-0, we lose 15-0, it's all right. This crowd, if we try to go back, we'll not get back. They'll finish us. So let's stay on the pitch. This is where it's safe. Let's stay here. If it's losing, lose 10-0. It's okay.
To appease them.
Yes.
For the sake of peace and to go back.
So the players stood there. Said, okay, Coach, we'll play. And we went. But we tried, but it was impossible.
2-0?
Yes, we lost 2-0.
And I'm told when you just landed in Benin, in Cotton, you guys, the coaches didn't even have space on the bus. You hired scooters.
Yes, we went with the scooters. Even in training, we never trained. We go to the pitch, we found people with scooters on the pitch. 2 days, we were there for 2 days.
No training?
Yes. In the night, the outside honking throughout the night.
They don't want you to access the...
Yes. It was far beyond football.
Sadly, Faz tried to appeal and it
never works.
It doesn't when you lose.
No, it never works. Like you said, everyone started thinking you're just trying to find an excuse.
Find an excuse.
And of course, also here, that time there wasn't very good coverage. We didn't have reporters to record that. We came back. But the most important thing, I think for me, this outing, I felt proud because I knew I'd saved the players.
Yeah.
Bando came the following morning. Even later in life, he never told me where I had gone. He never told me.
Until his death?
Yes. I don't know. He never told me. I tried to find out, to employ, you just keep quiet.
He managed to negotiate with the thugs.
I think so. Maybe they got everything he had.
Yeah, now, Coach, let's get to more big moments in your football. Now, that was a very unfortunate situation. 2004, we never qualified. 2006, of course, you were replaced by Kalusha. I remember the Egypt AFCON. I think we were ejected from the first round. Now, fast forward, you replaced Kalusha again.
Yes.
And you were tasked to take Zambia to Ghana for the AFCON 2008. There was South Africa in your way.
Yes,
you had lost at home by a goal to nil.
Yes.
Aaron Mokoena scored that goal.
Yes,
So now, your job was on the line.
I was fired, actually.
You were already fired.
Yeah.
And then...
It was just a formality.
It was a formality. And then,
it was just a formality.
Tell us, how did you manage to turn things around? That South Africa was now a big team because they had recruited a good coach, 5 World Cup appearances, winning some. And of course, they were preparing for the World Cup 2010.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah,
you embarrassed a World Cup winning coach.
Yeah.
Share that moment, coach.
Yeah, that moment has got the sad and happy side. The sad side is that... you see, this team, like I told you, the youngsters I was with from under...
That you nurtured.
In fact, under 17. Because under 17 was fighting under 20. And I nurtured the team. So, it's almost the entire team that I was with at that particular moment in time. So, we lost one of the members. Very strong member.
Who is that
Charles
one?
And so
oh,
forth.
Yeah, the one who died.
Yes, and in very sad circumstances.
In Israel.
Yeah, he died in Israel. 2 days before departure, that's when they brought the body.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember.
In fact, we waited for the body because we wanted to attend the funeral.
And there was...
They cancelled. We cancelled what? We were supposed to leave on a Wednesday. Then the burial was set for Wednesday.
Exactly.
So we cancelled. We traveled now on a Thursday. Yeah, so it was a very painful moment to lose one of our members.
One of your boys.
One of the
and
boys.
I remember you told your boys to play for Chaswe.
Yeah. In fact, even themselves, they said, no, coach, when we were in South Africa now, say, coach, this match we'll play for our friend. And I did very little talking in this match. They were talking on their own. The briefing, it's Kennedy Mwene who did the briefing.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was there.
In South Africa.
Yes. He's the one who mentored the players much. He told them, I know these boys, I know this team. If we play the way you are intending to play, we win the match. And he gave a lot of insight on our weaknesses and all that. And it was a totally different mode. And they assured me coach will qualify.
Wow.
So we went onto the pitch because I respect too much also Brazil. I looked across at the coach on the other side, Pereira, and I'd failed to beat him in Zambia. And I was just saying to myself, here now, just a formality, I think this match, after this match,
I'm gone.
The matching orders were already given to Saga. Then I'll go. Yeah. I was shocked to see the kind of mood the players were in. They were aggressive. I've never seen them.
Chris Katongo.
He scored 3 goals.
Did you whisper anything to him before kickoff?
No. All of them were just in a different mode. But him, I think, was in a terrible, even worse mode. The way he scored those 3 goals.
Demolished South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa was totally demolished. And when we scored the 3 goals, I looked now at the other side. I could see the weather. No one could believe. The whole ground was quiet. We had only because we played in Cape Town.
Yes, in Cape Town.
We had only a few number of supporters,
Zambians,
but they were making the loudest noise. So, and we won that match. And I think to me, that's the biggest match for me in my life.
Wow!
Because the respect that I have for this country like Brazil.
The coach.
And of course, even South Africa. South Africa is a big giant.
Yeah, of course. They've been to the World Cup. We've not been there.
Yeah, it's a big giant.
They are the only country
you see the organization of their football,
their
the
league.
Facilities, the sponsorship. They are at a totally different.
It is another level.
It's a different level.
Yeah.
So each time we've beaten them, it means that we've done extremely. So we ended up beating them and qualifying and It was totally unbelievable to me.
I saw the coach now speaking like, no, it's up to Faz.
You follow this
I
much.
follow.
You follow
that time you now spoke with a lot of confidence.
No, actually, it so happened that after the match, they had organized a course for me from South Africa.
Straight from South Africa.
I went straight to Germany to finish my course. I just went straight, and there I received as a hero in Germany
because of what you had achieved.
Yeah, because of beating South Africa with the coach. If you
from
remember,
Brazil.
yes, because if you remember, South Africa was planning to host the World Cup.
Yes,
and they had to get the best coach. This is why they got
Carlos Alberto Pereira.
But then, to win the World Cup, because they had won the last World Cup, he had beaten Germany in the final.
So you mediated.
So when I got there in Germany, everyone was saying, this is the coach who beat Pereira. Like a very big name.
Wow.
So I said, no, it's not me. It is the players.
It's the players.
Coach is always seated outside there.
Yeah, no,
just
coach.
Drinking water.
Yeah, we actually concluding our conversation, but I would like to find out from you. I think before we conclude, I know in your career as a coach and as both a player and coach, you've had this, I think, media. I don't know whether to call them media challenges. Do you have any journalists in Zambia that you think gave you problems? In their coverage of you or the way they spoke to you? Because sometimes said, this one is on me.
Yeah,
always.
That's a very good question. Yeah, but you know how it is, eh? You are human. You media, you are human. And you sometimes, of course, we must understand that as human beings, also you make mistakes, just like we do. We make mistakes. When we're making substitutes, we're always making mistakes most of the time. So our substitutes are not working well. And sometimes you're also human. You love the national team. You are emotional at given moments. This we must learn to understand. But I must say that I am very close to the media.
Very close.
Media people.
You can't single out a journalist who gave you pressure or problems.
No.
Or any media house.
No. Media house, no. I think I understand.
They never feasted on you.
No. You see, when you're a national team coach,
yes.
It's normal for people to be very critical. But again, as a coach, you must understand that when a media person is extremely emotional and critical, it's only because he loves also the country and the team. So it's understandable. For me, it's very understandable. I have come to find that in the media, that's why you find people who are very patriotic. Because I think I'm very close to the media people. And they have a patriotic cadre, the media. And for me, personally, I'm proud of our media people.
Great.
Yeah, because they're so much passionate about their work and they love their work. And of course, they make football and they make everything that they write about. Without media, obviously, even a country like Zambia will not be there.
Great.
We are where we are because of media.
You see, Coach, I know I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Your 2008 AFCON, I think we were playing in Kumasi, Ghana. I don't know which other town in Ghana where we played from. But we played against Sudan. We beat them 3-0. We played against Cameroon. They beat us. It was a 5-1 bashing. That is 2008 AFCON.
Yes. 2008. Oh,
yes. You were trying to recollect. I watched. Then I think we had the first saver. We had the first saver. We played against, is it South Africa?
Yeah. We played Sudan.
We played Sudan.
We won against Sudan.
3-0. James Chamanga scoring one of the goals.
We drew, and then we finished with the lambasting.
Yes.
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. How was that experience?
No, that was administrative.
Because before you even talk, I want you to combine it with the fact that Elijah Tana missed the flight that was
Yeah,
heading
yeah,
to Ghana.
yeah.
And Teddy Mlonga, who was then president, was so upset and said, I would drop this
he was
guy.
dropped.
Yes. Yeah. And when there was some, media uproar, he was then put
on a plane and he followed us to join us.
The names that you submitted to CAF, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there because he was late.
He was told to return.
Yes.
And when he arrived at the airport, he used words like people who are politicians should not be in football. What happened in Ghana is totally rubbish.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember.
What did you say to Tana after leaving him out?
No. You see, a football team is like a military, like an army. There are rules. And you have to be strict to those rules. Yeah, and all the players must be treated the same. Because if players, you as a leader, they see that you are biased, you'll not be able to control the players. So we had set the rules. And he fell short. He was one of my favorite players. Fantastic defender. Reliable, He was very reliable at that particular time. And he was extremely gifted. But no one is above the rule. So when he couldn't come in time, we said, because of a committee in the team, just said, no, he's not here. So the next one in line must move in. And of course, the manager also had to submit the names. There's no who could fail to submit the names in time. So all that was done. But of course, now there was an uproar that maybe there was a way of bringing him in the team. There was no way to bring him. They missed two things. The rule, of course, and then the period that he was supposed
to submit the...
Yeah, so basically, those were his utterances, but which I didn't, of course, accept. You see, that's going beyond his area of operation. You must respect everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah, everyone is very important in life. Even if it is football, people can be outside, and you cannot... Politicians are authority. These are the people who are sponsoring the team, the paymasters. So they must not only contribute, but you must give them room to control.
Exactly.
There are roles that they have to control. So basically, for me, I think he had gone beyond these boundaries. Footballers and even sportsmen, even me as a coach, must only talk about football. And respect the other areas extremely.
So, as a coach, what is your saddest or most painful decision that you've ever made on or off the pitch? That is very important now because we need to know. There are many decisions, but which of those is the most painful that you regret?
In football, every day when you are losing, you are regretting, and I think most of the time you are losing more than you are winning. Sometimes, of course, when you have a good team, good preparation, you are winning more than you are losing. I guess in life, especially if you have to take the team far, you have to gamble. Yeah, you have to gamble. Because if you don't risk, you can't get far. So you find that in football, sometimes the gamble will not work. Yeah, but you must be strong and big enough to take responsibility. So the worst part in coaching and in football is to drop your trusted players. Because you see, like I said, you are knowing players from under 17 and you're coming with them through up to the national team. But when it's getting old, what do you do?
So specifically, which of those decisions?
Yeah, there are many players who grew old while I was coaching them. I had to drop them. Players like...
And you regretted?
Fantastic players like Moses Chon. Okay, Moses Chon was because of injury. But you find this a guy with a heart to play for the country, but he's getting injury. And wants to come along because the heart wants. But everyone can see. And even the doctor is telling you, the injury is too much. He cannot give you 100%.
Great.
So each time you are dropping a player like this, obviously these are the most saddest moments. Because he's like your son, your trusted son, and he's looking in your eyes to ensure that and he's communicating to you body language that he needs you to help him, but you can't.
There's nothing you can do.
These are the saddest moments.
And what is your advice to the young players, especially the current crop of players that are playing now? What is your best advice? I've asked you that question because there's this huge appetite, for example, for wages when it comes to national team, and money first before play. I know money is good, but what is your advice when it comes like to donning the national badge?
Godfrey, we all know money is very important, and everything that we do, the resultant should be what is money, and it is what, when you have money, it shows the kind of affluence that you have everywhere you go. Yeah. So, and these young boys come into football so that they can be independent, because money brings independence. So they are coming there, and that's their only support. That's their only source of income to give them this independence and freedom, because it gives you freedom as well. Yeah, but I must say that the youngsters must put their feet on the ground and realize that, especially now, because I'm watching the FIFA World Cup. Especially now in football, money is not an issue. I saw this boy young from Brazil, Fluminense, scored twice, coming as substitute.
Yes.
What's his name?
Is Estava something
Yeah,
like that?
very-
Estava,
Yeah,
the one that
something.
has been bought by Chelsea.
It's bought already.
Yes.
I was last night. I was saying this boy will not go back to Brazil.
No, they already
Scored
got him.
He scored the thriller, the second goal. In a melee, the way he controlled the ball, and the goalkeeper is coming, and the timing, like you were asking, at how do score such goals?
How?
He's got it already.
Wow.
At this young age. So, like I'm saying, in football now, as of now, money is not an issue. In football,
It will come naturally.
What a player must do is to sharpen the skills.
Then
Just
money
like
will
this
follow.
boy. The money now is following the
You.
players. Only this.
Don't follow it.
No. When your friends are rushing for the money, go to the gym, go to the training, and sharpen the skills.
Wow.
The money is at your feet. You come. It's not an issue. What is missing in the skill? People want to see the skill.
I love
So
that.
when a boy is given opportunity to market that skill, sometimes in a third world like Zambia, I've been here. Sometimes the money will not come. Many times. I've been there. I've been with the team, like I've told you. Here in Zambia, you're given a chance to be on the podium. Money is not, sometimes it's not, but cherish the knowledge that people have seen your skill. And it's from that moment maybe where you are not paid. That's where you find now you hit the jackpot. So sometimes in a country like ours, it's not easy to really find money. But it's like you say, this boy from Brazil now, it's just,
Yes.
it will never be an issue ever in his life. And we have examples here in Zambia now. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
We have youngsters now who are there already.
With big
Why?
money.
Because they sacrificed. You must be ready to sacrifice from the beginning. Not from the beginning. No, it can't come. But beginning first, sacrifice, work hard. Only in an opportunity where you can be marketed. There we were watching Mwene, isn't it, with the
Yes.
Sundowns.
Yeah.
He's
at the
been
World Cup.
sacrificing at Sundowns here. This Onyango kept him on the bench
Exactly.
from winning the AFCON. But he was patient, disciplined, he was working very hard. And people there in South Africa, they saw that this boy is very disciplined. And they've kept him in a foreign country as a coach. And now look at the podium where he is now.
It's big.
Yeah, it's big because of sacrifice. So the youngsters must learn to be to have sacrifice and discipline.
Great.
And sharpen. Only these three things.
And they'll succeed. Yeah. No, Coach, you've actually shared some nuggets of wisdom there, and I'm hoping the players are watching. I guess you guys are watching and listening to what the coach is saying. Now, Coach, I know I said we are concluding, but I won't be fair to myself and to my little brothers and sisters, the Gen Zs. if I don't ask you this question, because you also coached in Tanzania.
Yes.
So how, just briefly tell me, how do you compare the two environments? Coaching Simba, a very big club actually in Africa. Coaching them not once. At some point, I think the 2009 season, you went unbeaten and won the league.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, thank you, Godfrey. In Tanzania, I must say that when I went there for the first time, they had lagged behind. Yeah, so when I went with my knowledge, it was really cherished knowledge. Because they had lagged behind. I found them, they're playing, we were too much ahead in Zambia. There's a period when we were moving very fast in Zambia. Too many courses, too many expatriate coaches, too many people playing. Yeah. So when I went there, I found they had lagged behind. And so when I was coaching, my team was winning most of the time because my ideas were much better than the ones I found there. But the investment was big, in football.
They were investing.
And so when I went in, we won the league without losing a match. And of course, I was a big hero in Tanzania there, and I really enjoyed it. And they're good people, fantastic people. They really looked after me, fantastic way. And I had a very good stay in Tanzania.
Who between you, the two of you, Hona and yourself, coached Tanzania national team?
It's Hona.
It's Hona.
Yeah,
okay.
they offered me to coach the national team because after that they really wanted to coach me to coach the national team. But like you've correctly said, Simba is big. Yeah, it's
a big team.
It's big. And now, of course, they've made too many strides. They worked extra hard from that.
They're even beating us now.
Of course,
there is a lot of resurgence there in football,
and the investment is huge.
Great.
In their league and their football.
Amazing.
Yeah. And the Simba, if you see the kind of investment that they've made and the kind of the level at which they are operating at is very, very big.
Okay, Coach. Now it's about that time when we play. We have a game that we play here.
Okay.
First, I want to ask you. It's up to you to tell me. You're free to this small little paper. It's a list of pairs. So I ask you a question and you just respond. Don't just fire anything. Just respond. Alex Chola, Benachanda.
Galacticos, fantastic players. Both of them.
No, I just want you to close your eyes and choose one. Please.
Godfrey, you're asking me to do the impossible. No, Godfrey.
Yes.
Qualities are different. Alex Chola was master dribbler. He was an artist.
Just choose one.
Bernard was a robust striker.
Coach, just choose one. You cannot play both, of course.
Yeah?
Choose one.
No one.
Alex Chola.
So
you're not choosing.
No, if I choose one, the noise, people refusing will be too much bigger than mine.
Okay, forget about the Nkana fans.
Yeah.
Forget about them. Let's choose. Alex Chola, Benachanda.
Godfrey. No, these are two, both Galacticos. Alex was an artist. Bernard was a finisher. So how can you say it's big?
Okay, I jump. You're failed to choose. Effort Chavala, James Phiri.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, these are very difficult. And it's effort, and also eras are different.
No, Coach, choose one. Effort Chavala, James Phiri.
But if I said, even if I say James Phiri, what do people think of me when they
forget about them? Because you're the coach. You're the coach. So we go for Effort Chavala here. You've chosen Effort Chavala.
Okay, maybe I can pick a little bit Effort Chavala, but not that far.
Be candid, coach. Please, you're going to make my work difficult, and I'm not going to represent my little brothers, Gen Zs, well here.
Oh.
Yes, I just want you to choose. Just be fair to me and
Okay,
your
for
boys
Chawa.
and girls.
For Chawa.
Okay, Dick Chama, Stopila Sunzu.
Dick Cham.
Renford
That
Kalawa.
was easy, yeah?
Yeah.
You paired them well.
Renford Kalawa, Enoch Mwepu.
That one also is difficult.
Renford Kalawa, Enoch Mwepu. Just one.
No, those are maestros. Both of them.
You're not choosing.
Yeah, no.
Person Daka, Dennis Lotter.
Okay, let me. How are you pairing these people?
Person Daka, Dennis Lotter.
Okay, I'll choose the Patson Daka.
Great. We move straight to your all-time best 11. And this time around, I don't want excuses, coach.
No.
Just close your eyes, pick your best 11, your all-time best 11.
Okay.
The team that you're going to play.
Okay. My best 11, I'll start in the goals.
Yes.
Emmanuel Mwape. Wide on the right, fullback, Clive Achilles. Central defense, Dick Chama. Elijah Tana.
Okay.
Partner in central defense. On the left, Jack Simpole, GBFC and Zambia.
Wow.
Midfield maestro, Willie Phiri, Changa Rangers and Zambia. Attacking midfield, Jan Simulambo.
Wow.
On the right, attacking, Simon Kaoshi Kaudi.
Wow.
Top striker, Bernard Chanda.
Wow.
Second striker, Yuka GODFREY CHIKUMBI. And on the left, you know.
Who is on the left?
You know.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
11.
Hey.
This one is, you can't even ask.
No, I don't know.
No. This
Mention.
one, Kalusha one.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, how does your bench look like?
Oh, the bench? Oh, did I?
You didn't look at your bench.
Yeah.
Okay. Coach, I would like you to conclude by maybe any words that you'd like to share with Zambian fans that are watching you, the players, and of course, every football stakeholder that is interested in listening to your story, your beautiful story, which is well decorated, of course.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. I think first and foremost is now, like you said, I'm quite advanced in age, is to thank the people who have helped me to reach this far. I wouldn't be here without that support. Right, starting from Useko, you have very good research from Useko up to today. I've received massive support, and whatever I achieved is because of this support. So I'm really grateful for that support from the clubs, the institutions I worked for, the 15 clubs you talked about, in every football fraternity, from supporters, players, and sponsors. All those 15 clubs, institutions I worked for in government, I will not be here. I've told you where they sent me to train. Spent a lot of resources to send me there. So very grateful for that. And I think that is very important. Secondly, is like you said, being here, for example, it's a big privilege for me.
Thank you.
So many people are very wise. So got very good things to talk about. But you ended up bringing me here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Grateful.
I really appreciate. And thirdly is that we must be inclusive. What must be important is the green national registration card. This is what our grandfathers who gifted us this country instructed us. Everyone is important. We are one big family in this country. We have reached this far. I've told you how we've succeeded. This region, we are masters. It's because of the support we give, the coordination, the love we have for each other, this cooperation. So this is extremely important, the love for each other. And I remember each time we would go with the national team, the first national team, we used to live as a family. Sometimes it's shaking. You find people want to bring in other ideas. No, what is important? The criteria for selection, talent, skill, attributes. Only this in football.
Great.
And football is a unifier with so many differences, 70s plus tribes. So the only thing that can help us is this football has helped us so much to love one another as Zambians. And you see, sometimes we don't realize how important is a flag. We don't realize this, but the flag is extremely important. I will not be here if it was not for the flag. So all of us must just go all out to support the flag.
This has been a powerful and insightful conversation with the coach himself.